nice. This is really nice. I heard this morning that you're quite a lively, inquisitive group, so I'm looking forward to some great questions from you. So feel free to ask. Just a quick question back to you. How many of you travelled in by train today? Just the hands up. Anyone do the tube? Keep your hands up. Bicycle? Oh, that's good. Well done on the health and fitness. The reason I ask that question every year is because it just illustrates just how much influence DfT has in the UK and getting people around. And all that influence comes from our projects that we work on. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. Vivian Dobson's going to be my colleague who's going to talk about experience. So I'll rattle on because Michelle doesn't like me to hang around too long on these things. So Vivian, if you go to our first slide, please. And the next one. Right, so I talked about the kind of travel that you use in the day-to-day life, and that's up and down the UK. This diagram, and you'll probably get slides afterwards, don't worry about it. It's just an illustration of just some of the projects that we work on and the value of our portfolio. So we've got the fourth largest portfolio across government. It's worth 116 billion pounds. Per capita project spend is about 6.2 billion. So you compare that to some of the other big departments of state like Home Office, MOJ, who've got quite a large portfolio. We do quite well in keeping up in that space there. So the projects we currently work on, and you might get a chance to work on them as well. So let's just be honest here. This is what it's all about: is what can you get out of the role in DfT? Is we're working on HS2. We've got the Lower Thames crossing, which both are going to be mega projects shortly for Lower Thames. We've got the East-West Rail, Heathrow expansion. We've got Northern Powerhouse Rail. We're also doing a project on the UK Air Search and Rescue, second generation helicopter replacements. So we've got aviation, maritime, road and rail. So it's quite a varied portfolio. We aren't just doing IT systems, although we do have IT projects in DfT, so don't be put off by the lack of referencing that. So this is just giving you a little bit of an illustration of some of the things that we are working on across our portfolio. So it's quite varied. And to be honest with you, if you're in those big projects, they're great because you get to go out onto site visits and see what's going on. Say like HS2 in Birmingham, you get to go and look around what they're working on there. So, just go to the next slide, please. Thank you. I've talked about what you can get to work on, but actually, what is it like working in DfT? So I'm just going to run through a few things here. We've got offices across the UK. Our main hubs are London and Birmingham, but we've also got an office in Leeds. We have a small presence in Hastings, so if you do like the seaside fish and chips and hot donuts, it's the place to be. I would love to be working there because I'd probably end up in like 4 waist sizes if I was. Our HR teams are based in Swansea, and we are doing the Unity project, so we have got roles advertised for that, and that's quite an interesting one. That's working across DfT's group of organisations. We do a 60% in the office attendance over the month. I know this is sometimes a question that people are keen to understand how we do that. For our year 1 postings, they're aligned to the project support officer role, so you should all be quite comfortable by the time you come to do your second posting there. We've got a medium-sized bid allocation this year, 5. For the size of our department, we normally host about 17 to 20 file streams across all the years. So if you don't get on this year, try and get on next year for us. We're really happy to have you. These are just some illustrations of what we've got going on. This picture on the bottom left is supposed to be the Lower Thames crossing, I believe, but that's an AI image. We're doing rapid charging. You might have seen the advert on TV with people with big spiky hair. That's us. We're rolling out a charging network to help with electric vehicles. We've got the Transpennine upgrade routes, East Coast digital, so changing our signalling system over to digital. Lots of really fascinating projects we've got working on at the moment. Next slide, please. Of course, there's lots of opportunities as well. It's not just about work, because that would be boring, wouldn't it, if we all just did the work and there was nothing else to do. So we've got a great fast-stream network, which we'll talk about in a little bit. We've got a huge range of staff networks. everything you can think about, we catered it for it, and you're really encouraged to take part, get involved. They're really good experiences for colleagues. We do community of practice events as well, so you get to hear from experts both in the department and outside about projects they're leading on, particular disciplines like risk governance, lessons, benefits, which are all integral for doing government projects. We have a mentoring program as well, and then we also, as I say, have lots of just non-work related talks. We have a really active social committee, so we have interesting speakers come in for history and other aspects and authors and that. So look, it's a wide, broad church. There's lots going on in there. And as I said, here's just on the right-hand side some of our networks that we have in the department. So lots to choose from there. Over
to me. All right, thank you very much, Lee. Hi everyone, I'm Olivia Dobson. I'm a second year project delivery file streamer, currently posted at Department of Transport, and I'm working as a business change manager. I'm really excited to have this opportunity to present to you and give you a bit of a flavour of my project I'm working on at the moment, and hopefully give you a sense of the kind of opportunities that are available to you if you get matched to Department of Transport. So this is my project this year in a sentence: strengthening project sponsorship across DfT. Now you might be thinking, project sponsorship, well, what actually is that? And honestly, that's $1 million question. So the problem is, in reality, sponsorship is not well defined. There's no consistent standard, and roles like sponsor, senior responsible owner, and client are often blurred together. And in addition to that, the role itself of the project sponsor varies depending on the project's size, complexity, and delivery model, to name but a few. So overall, it's quite a complex and inconsistent landscape. And in terms of the consequences, they are significant. So several lessons learned reviews have shown that poor project sponsorship leads to cost overruns, missed benefits and delays. So, and one lessons learned review, which you can see up here, in my opinion, captures really well what project sponsorship is all about. So it says, accountability must be unambiguous, sponsors must be clear on their responsibilities and empowered to act. Behaviours matter more than process. Sponsors must demonstrate leadership, challenge assumptions, and foster collaboration. So what are we doing about this problem? So at the DfT, I'm leading on the development of a DfT project sponsorship code of practice. In simple terms, it's a foundational document that sets out clear definitions, roles and responsibilities, and the behaviours expected of effective project sponsors across the full project lifecycle. So what does that actually involve? Well, it's a lot more than just sitting at a desk writing documents, I can tell you that. I've been organising a lot of engagement sessions with sponsor teams all across our department and cross-cutting themes. I've been testing ideas really early and bringing stakeholders along on the journey with us. I've also been working with senior leaders to get their strategic steer on our work. And I've also been engaging with external experts across government to challenge and strengthen our approach. I'm really proud to say that we now have a full first draft prototype, which we're now testing with a small control group of experts. In terms of next steps as well, we're really thinking about what the final product is going to look like, and there's potential building the product on SharePoint to use the magic of AI to think about how we can make sure this document evolves and improves over time, so it doesn't just sit on the shelf. And so that is what I've been working on in a nutshell. And beyond this project, I also wanted to quickly highlight the other things I've taken on alongside this work. DfT has so many opportunities that you can tap into in terms of development opportunities. So alongside this work, I've chaired our divisional team meetings and I've taken forward priority actions. I've been involved in the Fast Stream network, which is a brilliant network, and they regularly we run events, very helpful. And I volunteer for my Directorate Engagement and Wellbeing group, organise events, and I also am a regular gym goer at the office. So just to summarise, if you're looking for a role where you can work on genuinely impactful projects, you can engage with senior stakeholders and you can shape how government delivers change, then DfT is a fantastic place to be. And best of luck to all of you in your fast stream journeys. Thank you very much for listening to myself and to Lee, and we welcome any questions you have. Thank you.
Yes, gentleman there.
Hang on, let's wait for a mic.
Olivia, I was wondering how you found it managing business change as a second year fast streamer. I'm guessing working with people who've maybe been in the department for many years doing things a particular way that maybe they feel quite comfortable with, and what those dynamics have been like, and any challenges or maybe even tips that you have from that.
Yeah, it's a brilliant question, thank you. So I'd say that it is challenging working in change and behavioural change as well when you've got established ways of working. But a technique that I've used a lot is co-creation, taking, like I said earlier, taking the stakeholders on the journey with us from inception stage through to the end, so they have regular opportunities to feed into our work. And also, you know, there's a really big opportunity to, with our product we're creating now, to use what they're working on, their live areas of work, and say, okay, how can we align here to what you're doing? So it's a regular process of keeping them engaged, getting that buy-in, which can take time to get the buy-in, but yeah, I would say just take them on the journey. Thanks for the question.
Other questions at all? Or be escaped?
Any others? Fabulous, thank you.